chief spokesperson for the Defense Ministry, serving under four diverse defense ministers of different political parties. I don't think there has been many such distinction where the chief spokesperson has served governments of different political lineage. So that's a tribute to his exceptional professionalism and objectivity, which is generally recognized. So he retired as the Principal Director General, PIB. He was the chief spokesperson for Government of India. So we couldn't have thought of a better person to speak to you today on how and what are the ideal qualities of being a PRO, DPRO. And Sitanshu, we are extremely delighted that you have consented to spend some time. Yesterday, you did interact with 4 students. So one of the good things that is happening in Odisha and in Kalinga Academy for specifically is the kind of sincerity which students evince compared to many other places where possibly the interest levels are not particularly very intense. So therefore, it would be a wonderful alchemy of events where somebody with your exceptional experience and field experience could share their experience with all of them. They have their interviews from 22nd to 24th. So they're on the cusp of a very important milestone in their life. So over to you, Sitanshu, and I couldn't think of a better person for this. And once again, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Maina. You have been an inspiration always, right from my university days. And in fact, I feel very nostalgic when I am talking to this group today. This is a journey which I had started nearly 40 years ago, without knowing how it will, how the journey will be like. But it has been a wonderful experience, and which is really fabulous. One great thing is that one gets an exposure to all aspects of the government when one is in the information side. In fact, in a ministry or in a department, I think barring the minister, secretary, the other person who has a kind of overall knowledge about the department, of course, finance is included in that, but a different perspective is always given by the information officer in formulating policies and also in tiding over crisis when it happens. I very fondly remember one army chief used to tell jokingly that our DPR is like a man for all reasons and all seasons. Any problem, you go to him and he will be having a different kind of solution to the problem. So this is a wonderful occasion today for me to interact with some aspiring candidates who would be trying to join the Odisha Information Service. And my task will be in the next 1 hour to kind of give a feeling of the service to you, the kind of things that you will face in life, career, and most importantly, what you can expect in the interview as a candidate. Unlike other services, this is a very professional service. And as you know, the media environment is undergoing fast change, very vast and fast change all over the world. It is sometimes incomprehensible in which direction it is going. The second important aspect is that all governments are attaching a lot of importance to media for various reasons, and that I'll be explaining in this short presentation. And so we'll get going. I'll be giving some aspects of it which probably you would not have thought of normally, because that aspect is changing. Is taking place at a very fast pace in the media environment. So let's get going. First of all, I'll try to put the presentation on the screen so that you can have a look at it. Okay, can somebody help me in bringing this presentation to the
Sir, there is a icon called share screen. That arrow mark is there. If you see in the after the video, another one share screen option is there.
Okay.
So in that you can share the entire screen.
Okay.
Click entire screen, then you can click the screen you want to share, and
okay.
Then share.
Oh, has it come? No.
No, sir. Once again.
I'll try again. Okay, the entire screen to share audio, share it.
And after enter screen, you can click the
share.
Click the screen you want to share. Then
yes, I put it.
Sir, it is now share.
Okay. Show my screen anyway. That is the one, no?
Okay, sir. So now we can open the presentation, sir.
No, it is showing so many.
Sir, in the ground, I think your presentation is open. You click that presentation. So in ground, sir. I think in the ground, in the bottom. Yes.
Bottom.
So there, sir. That presentation next to.
Okay.
Not this one, sir.
Or
the presentation, this one.
Oh no. Yeah, I have mucked up.
Next to this one, sir. Yes,
you
sir.
Can see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm so happy. Okay, so guys, we'll start it now. So this is the presentation is all about preparing for your interview. Now, the first aspect is what is the objective of the lecture, and in this I'm trying to I've made a kind of summary of the whole presentation. First of all, we'll understand the role and expectations of a government communication officer. That is what you are going to become, and from that actually will emerge the kind of questions that you will be asked and what they will be trying to test you. The second aspect will be familiarizing with the interview dynamics, the kind of interviewers who will be there, and what kind of questions they may ask, and learn the types of questions they will be asking you, and we'll develop a strategy for effective responses. This aspect is very important because taking a kind of analogy of cricket, when you bowl a full toss to a batsman, the batsman is expected to hit for a 6. But if he gets out, then you cannot say that it is a bad ball, because full tosses are considered to be bad balls normally. But if he gets a wicket in that, the bowler is great. So you have to, no question is actually bad. How you respond to those questions actually depends on that. And this is true as in an interview, as also in a press conference when you are faced with questions from the journalists. So never blame the questions. Your answers should be smart and sharp and to the point. Okay. Now, the next aspect is The role of a GCO, I mean government communication officer, I have put it like that. That is what you will become. Now the fact is that you will be a bridge between the government and the public. You will be communicating the government's policies to the public, and the public's feedback, how they have taken it, how the policies are being implemented. You would be giving the feedback to the government. And here, the instrument that you will be using may be technology, maybe through the media, that you will be dealing with them on a day-to-day basis. The second aspect is that you will be a strategic communicator during policies and crisis. This is very important because you have to develop the strategy for the policies, how they will be implemented, how they will be successful, and there will be crisis every day almost in your working life, and how you will be facing those crises and sorting them out in a very professional way. Now, I am reminded of a very interesting episode which took place, when we were independent, and we were only few years into that independence. The first, the planning commission was set up, and the first plan was kind of announced. 1951, it was to be implemented. And that time there were very prominent leaders. I mean, Jawaharlal Nehru was a towering leader, and all the cabinet members were well known in the country. They never thought that there is a publicity plan which is required for to be implemented and to be kind of taken to the people. So as a result, what happened, they published the plan and they went about their job, and then they found that the real beneficiaries of the first 5-year plan were to be the farmers, the rural folk, because the emphasis was on that, but there was no communicators for that purpose. The newspapers will not, carry stories about developmental activities, and that is why the government finally decided to come out with the field publicity, Directorate of Field Publicity, which was set up to take those plans to the people in different formats. And also Yojana, that magazine which you may have come across during your preparation of competitions. That was the magazine which was brought out, and that was done in 1953-54, something like that. Well, 3 years into the planning, the first plan when it was being implemented. Since then, the government has been very particular that all plans which are made, it has to go actually to the communicated to the people, the beneficiaries, so that, in a democracy, they can take the full benefit, enjoy the fruit of the government. I mean, they have elected in the system. The next aspect will be media liaison, press releases, conferences, clarifications, etc. That you will be doing it, almost every day. This is routine activity that it will be doing. And digital communicator, because you will be also operating on the social media. You will be fact checking, you will be countering misinformation, and a whole lot of other jobs that will be coming along. And above all, you will be building public trust in governance, so that the bond between the people and the government remains intact. That is how a democracy functions, and that is the role of the government communication officer, who will be discharging his responsibilities. Now, the composition of the interview board, I mean, this you should know, who all will be by and large there to be asking you questions. There will be probably a senior bureaucrat, IAS, IPS, or foreign service level person. And then there will be some subject experts. I mean, one expert will be there, who could be from a prominent journalist, journalism, PR, or mass communication, maybe a professor. And then there will be a media practitioner, maybe an editor or a former PRO or Director General Media Communications. And normally in boards of this nature, a psychologist remains who generally assesses the stress management. Supposing a question is asked to you, which is, how do you respond to it? You may not know the answer, or you may be getting very frustrated. So that is a negative fact. Should not get frustrated by hearing a question, but you should be able to, tackle it in the most efficient manner to the best of your knowledge. I'll be coming to that when you don't know the answer to a question, how to handle that. And because it is equally important to give a good answer, and it is also important how you should accept that you do not know the answer to a question, but you are willing to learn. Okay. And nobody is perfect. So that is why the interview board also knows that. I mean, they are much older in age and with experience. So they know that at a younger age, you may not know many things, which comes with your experience. So keep that in mind. They are empathetic towards you, but at the same time, they want to gauge what is your level of understanding, how you analyze like that kind of situation. Now, what they are assessing is, first of all, your communication skill, clarity, persuasion, and empathy. These are the three important factors which are required in public communication. It should be clear what you want to say. There should be no ambiguity in what you are saying. It should not be interpreted in different ways as far as the facts are concerned. The second aspect is persuasion. You should be persuading to your point of view, what you are trying to say. And at the same time, you should be empathetic towards not only the question, the subjects in the question, but also in your attitude to life. One of the examples that I'll give you, recently the External Affairs Minister, when they were talking about Operation Sindoor, there was this controversy about whether he had communicated beforehand the Indian action, which was going to take place. Now, the way the words were couched, actually, it created a lot of ambiguity, a lot of debate, discussion, discord. You can say whatever, but essence of the statement is that it was not that clear as it should have been, so that there should not have been no doubt about the facts, what he was going to state. The second aspect is your media and policy awareness, relevance and preparedness. Now the thing is, the current media environment, how it is operating, it has undergone many changes, and in fact, every day there is some issue or the other relating to the media as such. What they're writing is different, but as their composition as the media and the policies that the government is making. In fact, the government has been coming out with throwing up new ideas, new policies, and you should be aware of all of them if you are going to be a public communicator. And the third aspect is crisis management thinking. You should be able to think clearly under pressure. And of course, crisis management itself has become a discipline, not only in management and also in communication. And you should be thorough in that. How to handle, there is a procedure, there is a process, there are protocols, and how you should do it. If time is permits, I will be giving you the example of the Air India crash and how Air India handled the situation, whether it was all right or not. But essence of the thing is, how will you analyze the process by which you think that they have done a good job or not? So that also is applicable to you when you do face a crisis situation and you handle it. At the end of it, it will be, you should be able to judge whether you had been able to do it properly or not. So that is what they would be assessing, whether you can think clearly under pressure and give a direction. The next aspect is ethics and judgment. This is a profession in which there is a bottom line of ethics. You cannot actually do unethical things to achieve success. There are many ways of achieving success, if that can be called a success. And you can take to unethical means also to achieve what is called success. But ultimately, you are judged by whether you maintain certain ethical standards which are expected of you in this profession. And the last aspect is the strategic planning ability, your long-term vision of the department or the ministry in which you would be working. Whether you should have a short-term plan and you should have a long-term plan. In terms of issues also, some of the issues can have two solutions. One is the short-term and the long-term. And it is just not short-term and long-term. It is in the long-term, it is actually overarching, involving many departments, maybe many departments, many groups, and how you are able to take all of them together. Even in a crisis situation, what happens is, if you are doing only having only a segmented view of your role in the crisis, then you may face problem, because there are other stakeholders who would like to see that they are given due respect and they are due place in that crisis management. Okay. The next is the categories of questions that will be coming. You have already taken the written examination in which your theoretical knowledge has been completely taken care of. But here, what they will be looking at, the concepts and the theoretical understanding and how you are applying it to your day-to-day life or day-to-day functioning, and how you can use them. That is very important. Like, for example, agenda setting theory is something which we all learn in the mass communication institutes or schools. But agenda setting is such a profound concept. It is done on a day-to-day basis by the governments, and how you can help the government in setting the agenda, framing it, and taking it to its logical conclusion is something of a very professional job which you have to do without being seen to be doing that kind of job. The second aspect is the current affairs and policy awareness, which is a very normal thing to ask. These are the straight of questions. They ask you whether you are aware of. For example, they may say that, what is Truth Social? And maybe there will be a follow-up question saying that, why did President Trump decide to go to Truth Social and not X or Twitter? So that kind of awareness you should be having about in current affairs. The third thing, they may give you some situations in which you have to come out with a kind of response. Supposing a train disaster takes place, and how you are going to face that, handle the communication aspect of this accident. For example, that is one such example. There can be many. So situational and crisis response is something which will be maybe a part of categories of questions that comes. The next one is your media and communication skills, in which you may be asked about broadly how you will be handling a press conference or a difficult press conference which is taking place. What are the preparations that you will make before the press conference takes place? Something like that. Of course, there will be some questions on ethics and decision making. And finally, there will be some analytical and cognitive reasoning they may ask you by the interview board. Normally, these interviews take place for about 20 to 30 minutes max. So you should, one or two questions in this each field will take almost about 30 minutes. Now, I'm giving you some examples of conceptual question and what is crisis communication and why is it essential, something like that. Or maybe a quotation like Marshall McLuhan's, "The medium is the message." I mean, this is the kind of formulation he had done way back in the 1950s, but it is equally relevant today. It is not only equally relevant, it has become actually the center point of today's media theories, that how the medium is deciding the message. So you have to explain. I mean, I'll come to that if you want it a little later. Then you have to differentiate between what is public relations and publicity. Maybe what is the difference between publicity and propaganda. So you have to be very clear about the subtle differences between these concepts. For example, publicity and propaganda, it used to be almost kind of exclusive. They used to be exclusive domains probably 10 years ago or 20 years ago. But today that there is a thin line between the two, where propaganda ends and where publicity starts, or the other way around. It is very difficult to know. In fact, I will be giving you some documents relating to that. You can go through it at least once. And again, of course, I talked about the agenda setting theory in mass communication and how you can apply it to your day-to-day functioning, working. Can you give some examples of it, how it is being done today? Something like that. These kinds of conceptual questions may be asked. Of course, you will be asked about some current affairs questions like recent changes in India's IT rules for digital media, Odisha's millet mission communication strategy, or they may ask you about evaluate the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, why Data Protection Act, and what are the new challenges to it, what are the new concerns of it, and media trials and their effect on democracy. During COVID time, we saw a lot of media trials going on the so-called mainstream television media, and what impact it has got on democracy, on personal freedom. I mean, this kind of thoughtful questions may be asked by the board. There may be some situational questions also, like a false video about the government scheme goes viral. Now, as the information officer, what will you do? What are your steps, immediate steps that you will take? Outline. You may be asked to outline a quick media plan to counter negative publicity, or maybe a 30-day campaign that the government wants to have on women's empowerment in Odisha. And what will be your campaign plan? How will you draw it up, keeping what in mind? Or first 5 communication actions during a cyclone. So situational questions are normally asked, 1 or 2 of them in an interview of this nature. And then there will be some examples of ethics and judgment. For example, how do you handle a provocative journalist question in a press conference? I told you that questions are not bad, answers can be bad. But at the same time, your tact in handling a journalist, it's not easy. I mean, it's easy. It can be said that it is easy to handle a journalist, but it is not, because the journalist may be having an agenda also. How do we know? But you have to handle those situations. How do you do it? And sometimes it will be a situation where the government doesn't want that so some information has to be suppressed. Then what do you do? Actually, it could be the most vital information that the people want to know. How do you, face those situations? And ethical principles guiding government communication. That is very, these are the considerations which one gathers a lot with experience in the service. But at the beginning, what the interview board would be liking to see in you is that whether you have got those clarity of thought, or you want to just do anything that the government wants you to do. Here is one situation in which you are dealing with the government. You are trying to keep them on the right path, and also you are trying to give the proper information to the media or to the public. So how do you draw those balances, your attitude, your way of dealing with people? A lot of factors come into account which get expression when they ask you those questions. In fact, they are not asking you these questions for a quick yes and no answer, or right or wrong answers. They're looking at the process of your thinking. How are you reacting to those situations? What is going on in your mind? They want to judge that. And that is why a psychologist is around there to find out actually how you are thinking. So now how to approach those questions with answers? The first thing will be you have to do a structural analysis. Like the situation that has been given to you, you analyze those situations, the facts, state the facts that these are the facts which I have, and these are the actions that I propose, and this is the result that I am expecting to happen, and that is what I want to see. Okay, you stay factual and avoid speculation or extrapolate data into it, as far as avoid extrapolating data to make a speculation. So based on the facts that have been given to you, you try to give your answers. And don't be voluble, be concise, but comprehensive. You should be impactful when you are answering. You should think and answer rather than just rattling. I have seen many candidates just try to keep the conversation going with a lot of words, verbiage, and things like that, which do not mean anything, losing out on the main point that they want to say. So every word that you say should be important. Be concise, absolutely be concise, and be comprehensive. And show empathy when required, especially in situations where you are asked. For example, if you look at this incident which took place in that FM college, Balison, and a question is being asked about whether the college authorities did well or not. If a question like that comes, first of all, you show empathy for the girl, what has happened, because that is the starting point. You should show that it was a most unfortunate incident that could have happened, and then you could go on analyzing in a clinical manner whatever happened, what the authorities did or did not do. And that is how you have to answer. And you should also demonstrate some awareness of laws, especially RTI, IT Act, PR principles while answering your questions. One important thing while handling the interview board is to maintain the eye contact and poise, and sit straight, listen carefully. In fact, when a question is being asked, never interrupt. Let the person, interviewer, finish his question. If you need any clarification, ask for clarification immediately, because you are thinking to answer, but you want to be very sure that what you are going to answer is based on the question. If there is a kind of ambiguity in your mind, please state that right in the beginning before giving your answer. Admit if you don't know, but you show the willingness to don't bluff. Don't laugh it away, or you have to be serious. Admit that, sir, I don't know about this, and but I'm trying to learn. At this moment, I'm not able to recall the exact name or something like that. You have to give that kind of explanation in a very polite manner, especially when you don't know. Be humble and be polite, and use as many examples from the Odisha's governance where possible, because that will be an additional point for you, because you are actually going to work for the Odisha government, and that is where, and the next possible examples you should be taking mostly from the government of India. And if a universal example you want to give, it could be from anywhere in the world. But your first preference should be Odisha. There are some common pitfalls to avoid. As I said, rambling or over-explaining is not required. Because you can be very precise and concise in your answers, which words actually matter when you are speaking. Be thoughtful, be observant of what you are saying. Don't talk just like that. And don't be overly critical of government policies. Here I'm saying this because the government's policies are based, they are implemented after careful thinking, lot of deliberation, and it goes. But when if something has gone wrong or it has got a negative aspect also, you should be talking about it in a very logical manner, pointing out those aspects, rather being, giving sweeping statements about the government policy that it was bogus or it is completely useless, and this has decimated the lives of people, something like that. You should not be talking in those terms. But you should be analyzing, and even if you have to, yes, you can say that these are the shortfalls in or the lacuna in the government policy which needs to be looked at or kind of rectified for greater impact. You have to choose your language, and even criticize the government's policies in a very logical manner. And you should avoid, you should not show that you don't have much awareness about state and national issues relating to communication and media. That is something which is very important. And if you are using a jargon, you should be very clear why you are using it. Without clarity, it doesn't make sense, and it looks like as if you are trying to show off. Even if you are using a technical term, which is nowadays there are too many of them in the communication field, it will be better if you explain it in a brief manner. What do you mean by that? So that the interviewers, they know that you not only know know the word or the concept, you also know the concept, and you are able to, the full import of the word, you know exactly, and you are using it in a very judicious manner. Okay. One last thing that will be there is that artificial intelligence has really revolutionized the communication firmament in the world. In fact, although it is now 6 years since I retired, but by that time also we had 2019, we had started using a whole lot of AI applications in our day-to-day functioning in the government of India, which included real-time monitoring, sentiment analysis. These are the new things, chatbots and crisis hotlines, and deep fakes and disinformation, how they can be checked. Fact check units in Press Information Bureau, they were set up in 2019 when I was there. And AI in predictive communication, this is being used in a very big way. So I had a kind of thinking that many of you may not be quite conversant with artificial intelligence, how it is being used in communication. So in the document that we'll be sharing with all of you, there is a separate write-up I have done on artificial intelligence in communication, day-to-day work, how it has become easier, and you have more time to devote to a lot of other pressing issues. When we had joined the service in the 1980s, there used to be, if a press release is issued at the end of the day, the information officer used to order for some samosa and chai, because that was an achievement. That a press release, I mean, that was a landmark. I mean, it's we have issued something, we have achieved something, that kind of thing. But by the time I retired, I don't know when my day started or when it ended. There were days when I was working from 3 o'clock in the morning till about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night. And the next day used to start at 3 o'clock also. I mean, those are the crisis-ridden days, not every day, but a normal day used to start at about 5:30 in the morning, and it used to go until 12. So that is the kind of life is there. But with more technology, your work doesn't become less. It actually becomes more, but it is more enjoyable and more fruitful. So that is how the communicator's job is nowadays. And the final tips are, you stay updated with Odisha's policies and national issues. Prepare a glossary of contemporary lingo in mass communication and check their meanings. I have made a short glossary for you all. We'll share it with you. And but that is not exhaustive, because in the last 24 hours, I was trying to recall as many words and phrases which are used in day-to-day life right now. And I have kind of compiled them. Read key government communication case studies, such as Cyclone Fani, how it was tackled, and what are the kind of measures that the government of Odisha has taken to be adjudged as the best in the world so far as disaster communication is concerned. And your calm confidence actually matters. You should be calm, but at the same time, you should be confident how you go about it. Okay. And finally, your questions, and let's prepare together. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So anyone have any question, you can write it here. Sir will address some of your questions.
Close कर दे अब. Sitanshu, please close कर दे.
Okay, I'll close that. Okay, done.
नहीं.
Sir, stop sharing गोटे अच्छी option था.
Stop sharing का वो.
Stop sharing.
हाँ.
Okay. Stop presenting.
Sir.
Okay, fine. You can ask questions.
Sir, one question they are asking, sir, what do you think about the preliminary AAIB report regarding the clarity of communication with the people?
AAIB report on the Air India crash, huh?
Sir.
Preliminary report, okay. Okay, I can take more questions, then I'll come back.
Okay, anyone have any other questions? You can ask. Particularly जो मानकर interview अच्छी 22 रू, so they can ask. जहाँ भी doubt अच्छी, you can raise it here. Sir, how to represent casualty
Casualty figures.
in an accidental case? Okay.
Okay, okay.
Any other question? So one more question: how does a democracy balance between freedom of information and misinformation with the prevalence of nameless and faceless bots in the internet that spread misinformation?
Okay.
Then question related to crisis communication in case of natural disaster or any serious issue. What are the steps or plan of action that should be followed by a GCU?
Okay.
How to handle proactive journalist question?
Proactive journalists.
Provocative, sir. Provocative journalism
Okay.
in a press conference.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. This much.
Okay. So let's start first with the AIB report. This is about the Air India 171 crash, and the AIB report came. Excuse me.
Sitanshu,
Sir.
just one additional question. It's quite likely that they will be asked question on the self-immolation case at FM College and the stampede deaths during the car festival. So it's quite likely that they could be asked about
Yes.
these two very recent events. If you could just throw a little light on how this handle
Yes, how to handle them. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, let's start first of all with this AIB report. Now, this is a report which is given by this board committee, and the first aspect of it is that it is provisional, and in fact they are supposed to give this report within 1 month of this of the accident. Okay, now the problem with this report has been it was kind of leaked to the American media 48 hours before it was actually published in India. The second aspect is that it was around 2 o'clock in the night that they just put it on the on the website, and they expected that this thing. So that these are the problems which have which show that there is not a very good effective kind of PR setup which the Civil Aviation Ministry is having. In fact, I have been watching their performance. It has not been. In fact, when they addressed one press conference of the secretary also, it was quite sloppy. way the whole atmosphere, the mics are stacked on a table, and there the secretary even doesn't know the name of the pilot who was, who was there in command, and a pilot of so many hours of experience in the thing. So I think there were quite a lot of faux pas on the part of the Civil Aviation Ministry, but it is quite a challenging job for the the PR person to do it, and I think it is a kind of failure on their part to answer these aspects of the question. And to blame only there was one American guy who was also a member of it, saying that he had leaked it to someone and other things, doesn't actually hold this thing in very good esteem. So those are my observations regarding this AIB report. It was handled in a very pathetic manner, actually, by the PR setup over there. Whatever PR setup is there. That is one. The second question I got is how to give the casualty figures. Okay. This is a very sensitive issue. Here, context is actually very important. From my experience, I'll give you one example where I had faced that kind of situation where the casualty was not, it was quite a big one, like 18. If you remember, in 2013, there was a submarine, INS Hindu Rakshak, which was preparing to go out into the Arabian Sea for 2 months, for patrolling. And when the rations and the storage was being loaded onto the submarine, it exploded around midnight in Mumbai, in the dockyard. In which 18 Navy personnel, including some 7-8 officers, also died in that. And that was quite a heartrending scene when we went there the next morning, and we had to, we saw that, and then the minister and the Navy chief, they had to address a press conference. Now, before we went to that press conference, it is one of the job of the information officer to prep the principals who are going for the press conference, like what kind of questions will be asked and how we should handle it and things like that. So in that, my presumption was that the media will ask, first of all, you say that 18 people died, but can you give the names of those people and also the states to which they belonged? Now, that was a trap, actually. If you give those names, then immediately the media will go to their houses and show those heartrending scenes of, the family members crying and showing it on television. It is a kind of, we have seen that kind of scene in when the Kandahar hijack took place, and the government came under tremendous kind of pressure. So here, my suggestion to the Navy chief was that you say that all those who died, they were Indians, and I'm very sorry about it. And don't elaborate on anything on that. Just give a pause, and I think that silence will be quite strategic, and it will have impact. And next day, when we saw the coverage, in fact, everybody was, media was appreciative that the Navy chief, gave that kind of statement. So here, casualty figure is always a sensitive issue, and it will all depend on the context in which what is happening. And second aspect is that the figures sometimes could be early figures, and then there will be, it will be increasing. It is a developing story. So it is best to avoid giving casualty figures in the story, because the media always wants to have that figure, that is the, for them number, 18 dead, 18 lives. The lives are reduced to numbers. You imagine 18 families devastated, and the media puts it as 18 dead, a number. So as a spokesperson, you should not fall into that trap. You should, what you should try to do is that this is the accident that has happened, and some casualty is feared, or initial, that kind of information can be given. But at the end of the day, I'm sure that you have to give some figures, but it is based on the body count that has taken place. But here also, say for example, when a train accident takes place, it is the railway ministry. It's quite interesting. The railway ministry has to give the compensation. Now, the numbers that you are saying as the state government spokesperson, and the railway says that there has to be some kind of similarity to that. I mean, it has to be exact. So it is best to avoid, if you are the spokesperson for the government of Odisha, then you do not talk about that, because they will be the one, they will be giving those figures. In fact, they have got a robust mechanism also to kind of get those figures and talk about it. So it is very important to see whose responsibility is to give those figures, and they have to give it. The third aspect is, yes, freedom of information and misinformation. Sometimes they have a happy marriage. So it is very difficult to judge. In fact, that is how we started the fact check unit in Press Information Bureau. But I had a question which actually created a little bit of, I should say that, discomfort in the government. And I said that whose facts are we going to check? We should be very clear, because there are a lot of ministers also who are very loose with their figures and facts when they are giving public meetings. So are we going to do a fact check on them also? So that, that is a problem. So but this is an ongoing kind of exercise which is going on. And the third aspect is that, has anybody tried Grok in fact checking? They are superb. They bring out the entire database, they scan it, and they come out with the facts. And that can be very, very uncomfortable with sometimes very prominent figures when they are talking, and then Grok checks them and says that, no, boss, you said something which is not correct. Okay. And that is why there are now bots which are available in the AI agents who are doing constant, fact checking in the internet. In fact, Taiwan is one country which has got a separate department for misinformation. To check misinformation, they have got this department, and they have what is called ready-made answers to questions like FAQs. Because from across the border or the channel, a lot of misinformation comes, and they have made it so perfect that the moment any misinformation comes on the internet, these bots actually they attack with counter information. And sometimes they have got memes, they have got videos, they have got photos, which they immediately do. And it is done on a 24/7 basis. So a lot of these activities are now being done by AI, and one can make use of it. Okay, crisis communication. As I said, that it is a full subject. If we had time, I could give a presentation on that also. But basic aspect of crisis communication is that there are three aspects one has to take care immediately. The first is speed of response. When any crisis is taking place, you do not wait for someone to report it. You as the person of the organization of the government, you come out with the first information. It may be a little bit of information. It is good that it is a little bit in the beginning to keep the media engaged, and they then go on giving it additional information as the day progresses or as time passes. So that way you keep the media engaged with giving information. There is a particular theory which is called the stealing the thunder. In fact, if you give the first information, you are actually eliminating the chances of rumors, misinformation, conspiracy theories in the media. And you are actually stealing the thunder, which may happen if you do not give any information in the first place. If you give the information, actually others are responding to that. But if you don't give, someone else puts something in the media environment, you are actually reacting to that situation, which is a sorry state of affairs, which is not actually appreciated in the environment, media environment. So the first is that speed with which you give the information. The second one is the accuracy. Be truthful. You may be economical in truth, but nevertheless, what you said factually, that cannot be challenged. I mean, that should be accepted by everybody, what you have said. Okay, that is the second aspect. And third is the rumor management or misinformation management. That is also a part of the crisis communication. If you keep these three aspects in mind, then you would be quite successful in dealing with a crisis. But of course, there are, it's a detailed subject. What is the pre-crisis situation? What is the ongoing crisis situation? What is the post-crisis situation? A whole lot of things can be discussed in that. Now, how to handle a provocative journalist in a press conference? That needs a lot of tact. In fact, I'm again reminded of, a press conference, which is the annual press conference of the Honorable Raksha Mantri, the Defense Minister, at the Aero India in 2015. And, immediately after the inaugural by the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister goes for a press conference after a gap of about 1 hour, 1.5 hours, around 12 noon. And he addresses it's a sit-down press conference for 1 hour, and in which all kinds of questions are asked. But in that particular press conference, there was a story in the Indian Express about that Indian Coast Guard Western sector, saying that they had, kind of blown up Pakistani vessel on the 31st of December. Because he did not want to feed biryani to those guys. Now, a different story was given on that particular incident on the 2nd of January. Now, here, this story was coming on that day of press conference. So obviously, the whole press conference was about to be hijacked. And there was one particular correspondent who was trying to hijack it in a big manner. And I was there. So you have to, on the spot, you have to decide how to control that. So I set a kind of ground rule saying that we are dividing this press conference into 4 parts. That there are 60 minutes for the press conference, 15 minutes will be devoted to this aspect, another 15 minutes, and like that. So this aspect where we'll be discussing about the current affairs was the last part after 45 minutes. And this correspondent was restless and he was doing all kinds of things. But I had the support of some of the journalists who had come from abroad, and they said that, no, what the spokesperson is doing, absolutely correct. We want to know what India is doing in terms of giving incentives to foreign investors and things like that. So That was on the spot. You have to decide how you have to control this person and what is actually he is trying to do. If you can gauge that, then you can divert the attention. Here, your personal tact will be very much required to do it. Nowadays, the media is quite ideologically divided very sharply, and they try to kind of sabotage a press conference by taking a particular line and making big noise. So there, the responsibility of the person who is coordinating, is moderating it. He has a big role to play, how he has to control it, and without actually kind of insulting him or whatever. So that will require tact, personal tact, and interpersonal relationships, and a whole lot of issues. Okay, now there are two cases which have happened recently about the self-immolation case and also the stampede case. Now, let me take the self-immolation case first. Now, if you look at it, before that, there was also another incident in Kit in which one girl from Nepal, she committed suicide. I was looking at the whole media management of the university. I mean, there is nothing adverse, I think to speak, but at the same time, in a very professional way, I was looking at how the issue was handled. Now, the first part of the, in a crisis communication, it comes under that category of crisis communication. The first thing that the university should have done is that it is the acknowledgement of a problem. Yes, this incident has taken place, and which is very unfortunate, and the university is taking all this thing. The authorities are in touch with the police and the state government, and they are trying to do their best. Investigation is underway, and nobody will be spared. That kind of first statement, if it comes within, that is called the golden hour, in the first 1 hour of an incident taking place, then you would have actually controlled the situation. Next, you can do other things, but first, this particular aspect, it would have stolen the thunder. In the case of the self-immolation case in Baleswar, I don't think even the college or the university has any PR setup over there. In today's world, there is no organization which should function without a communication wing within their organization. It could be a small wing, but it should be a very professional wing which has to function in the organization. And in the very first case, they should have come out with a statement, and they should have said that we are investigating into it, rather than planting stories about the character of the girl or political affiliation, whatever. So I mean, that was not very well, I should say, very, very amateurish, the way they handled the case in this self-immolation. It is possible to do it in a professional way and take care of these kinds of situations quite easily. By now, there are so many cases have happened, and people have, experts have suggested ways communication experts, how to handle it, and it is possible. So one has to see it from that respect. And in the stampede case also, I think there was a delay in giving information, and then VCOC. And when the chief minister came to apologize and talk about it, it was too late in the day. See, the first 1 hour is very important. You may have gone wrong in your thing, but by accepting the problem and by empathizing, you would have taken care of the emotional aspect of a case in that kind of fashion. So that is how I look at it. Any other questions?
Sir, one last question. How will you handle the situation when you are not agree with the decision of your higher authorities that seems unethical or some type of corruption involved in this?
This is a very tricky situation. This is a very tricky situation. Yes, but I have faced that kind of situation many times in my career, actually. One example I'll give you that I won't name the minister. Actually, the minister actually came out with a very outrageous kind of decision, and she wanted me to, at 8 o'clock in the evening, she wanted me to give it to the media. So when I read about the decision, I thought that it is going to create hell of a lot of problems, and in fact the minister may lose her job. And so I rang her up and I said that, are you sure that this has to be given to the media? So she said yes, and it has to be given in a press release, remember that. So I said that, have you thought of the consequences of it? And if you permit me, I'll give you the consequences. So, but the person was actually, the minister was so arrogant. She said that I'm the minister, you are only the spokesperson. Whatever I'm directing you, you have to carry it out. Now, I didn't lose hope. I told her that I'm concerned about you. And I'll be very sad if you lose your job. And this has the potential to do that kind of damage. If you give me 2 minutes more, I will explain to you how the problem will begin from tomorrow. And by evening, we would be handling different kind of problems. But she was so adamant, and finally, she asked me how long. She was thinking that I will not give it to the media. And she asked me, how long will you take to give out the press release? I said that it takes not more than 5 minutes. And in 10 minutes, you will be seeing it on television, the impact of it. But I'm actually dreading that situation, what will happen when I give it to the media. But she was very insistent, and I gave it. And by next morning, the PMO was asking, why did you not convince her? And I gave the whole narration of the incident that had taken place. Within 15 days, she had lost her job. So the best that you can do is to show that it is not in their interest if you do something of this nature. But some ministers accept and they appreciate, but some do not listen to you. There are many examples I have seen, quite a few ministers not agreeing with you, and they go ahead with their own this thing. Of course, what is ethical and what is unethical is something which is subjective, and where you draw the line, it is depends on the individual, where you are, what you are doing. These ethical and unethical questions I faced quite a lot in the Ministry of Defense, but I think where national interest is involved, you have to go ahead with that. But without national interest, the big national interest, actually, one has to be very careful while dealing with. Individual citizens cannot be sacrificed or damaged for some temporary gain here and there. That is the kind of baseline for me. So, but for others, it may be different. So one has to draw that. It is individual consideration at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okay. So that is all, sir. Thank you so much for this session. I think everyone who are going to appear the interview from 22nd, they get a completely knowledge about what they are going to prepare for the interview. And also, this is the first of its kind in Odisha. Ame a level opportunity पाइनु जो मैंने बहुत पिला रिक्वेस्ट करूथिले जो मैंने कि जे आ ऊपर हमें कौन प्रिपेयर करिया दरकार सर इट इज we are so fortunate to have you here with the help and blessing of Professor S.N. Mishra sir. Sir कहले कि सान को कनेक्ट करी कि यदि से किसी आइडिया दे परिबे ताले जो माने ए ओडिशा इन्फॉर्मेशन सर्विस में प्रिपेयर करूछन इंटरव्यू पे तनको गोटे कंप्लीटली गाइड और तनको गोटे डायरेक्शन मिलिबो को डायरेक्शन में से माने प्रिपेयर करिया पे थैंक यू सो मच प्रोफेसर एस.एन. मिश्रा सर, Sitanshu sir, and all the Odisha Information Service जो मैंने इंटरव्यू देवा को जाउछंती समस्त को wish you all the good luck for your upcoming interview. I hope this ए जो सेशन टा में कले definitely lot of things you learn from this session. केमती माने कौन प्रिपेयर करिया ठु धरि के केमती आंसर दबा ठु धरि के क्रिटिकल क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट हो कि डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट हो डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन केमती हैंडल करा जबो से ऊपर सर कंप्लीटली हमको आइडिया दे देले मो कहवा कथा तो पूरा हमको कहि देले ही कोन करि पर अछि तेनु हमें सेही थ्रू से अनुसार निज को प्रिपेयर करबा दरकार. So thank you so much sir, thank you everyone those who have attended this session. And
before we sign off, I just want to say one thing. Sitanshu, your toolkit on AI tools, that will be very useful because, you know, I believe they're asking a lot of questions on AI tools which are being used.
Yes. I will give it to Deepak Babu.
Yeah.
And he can circulate amongst everybody.
That would be very useful. And
Yes.
I must say at the end, since I'm the oldest of the lot, if not the wisest of the lot, that it was absolutely the golden hour. You mentioned about golden hour, you know, how to handle a problem. It is absolutely golden hour for the students who are aspiring to become information service officers. Thank you very much, Sitanshu.
Thank you, Vaina, and best wishes to all the candidates. Be cool. Actually, you know, you should be going like cool as cucumber to the interview, and
you get good cucumbers in Odisha also. Very good.
Don't take tension. And you know, the one of the qualities of the PR person is that whatever may be the situation, he maintains his cool, and that is the first, because you are not only giving information to the people and also to your principals, but you are also giving them a reassurance, a kind of confidence that you know, nothing has been lost. We are there. We can do it. So that kind of look you should give when you are in the interview board. And the second thing is that when you face a difficult question, actually you, as I give you that formula, you analyze the situation, you give the options. You may not give a full answer, but your analysis will take you through the day. So they will appreciate that you are being diplomatic, but at the same time you have said enough. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Sitanshu sir. So thank you, Professor S.N. Mishra sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.